I'll get that. Welcome to a very impromptu kind of team call with TeamMADE International. It is July. That's all I know. It's July. I never check the date before I do these things. So it's July something or not. Is it the 10th?
Yeah.
They're in Florida. Oh, it is the 10th. Thank you. July 10th. Woohoo! And we have Angie Bellemare on our call. I had the privilege of being on hers last week, and she has an amazing team. And it's funny because I grabbed a piece of paper, Angie, to write all your accolades down, and then I had to grab a second one. So you guys, listen to this. She's been a coach for a little more than 4 years, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 4 years and a month.
Perfect. And she has a great transformation story, but her transformation story is that she went from skinny to strong, that she's created a really healthy body using Beachbody programs. She's married to Andre, which we had the privilege of hanging out with, very nice man. And she's the mom of a fur baby named Carl. She's a 3-time elite and a top 10 coach. She's founder of the Team Uproar. She's been a summit speaker before, and she will be a summit speaker again this year. She's a 12-star. She's been in Success Club 10, give or take 50 months. I didn't know because you probably already hit it this month. I wasn't sure exactly how many months to the T.
I don't even know. I think it's like 48. I don't even know.
Yeah, nice.
Going.
And she's a 6-figure plus earner, huge Disney earner. Do you earn Disney? Disney lover. And how I would describe her is she's just an all-over girl boss with a girl next door personality. And I told her this on her call, but I've been so intrigued by her ever since she kind of started coming on the leaderboards. In our back office, if you ever go to the recognition tab and you look at team leader and organizational leader and all of those leadership ladders, there's really not too many of us in the executive, I mean, I say it right, executive leader, but she is one of them, and she's always been in there. And I've watched it myself go from 60-something people, and sometimes there's 40, and then sometimes there's only 20, but she's very consistent. And I think that says a lot about somebody, because being an executive leader in this business goes far beyond your own success. It really is about developing leaders in your other team. And I don't know if I shared this with Angie before, but the first time that I heard of her name was last year on the Top 10 trip in Tahiti. Anita Myron and I were riding our little bicycles, and she had talked about this Angie Bellemare, who had, geniusly come up with, and I think you'll tell me that maybe that you didn't, you can't take credit for, I don't know. I think it's totally you. But the shout outs for Instagram, she's just a genius when it comes to, she has a wonderful Instagram account. You have to check it out. But above and beyond that she was clever enough to either invent it or to make it for Beachbody coaches to create shout outs, to reach the people on Instagram. Because Facebook, there were ads and there were ways to find people, but Instagram was very tough. And so she really ran with that. And I believe she still does now, but she has such a big account of her own now that she works a lot from her own account. And she runs these amazing shout outs, gets good quality people from them. And then she's able to do these sneak peeks that I am wanting so bad to be a fly on the wall. But that's why she's here today, is just to share some of her best practices, probably outside of that realm a little bit as well. But very selfishly, I asked her to talk about that because I knew I would be so excited and I would be muting you guys and paying attention that I wouldn't be able to take notes. But I asked somebody to take diligent notes for me, because I know what's going to come out of that pretty little mouth of hers is going to be really, really valuable for us. So Angie, thank you so much for being on this call and sharing some of your wisdom with us. I know you have a lot of fans in my team that are just really excited to hear from you.
Oh gosh, thank you. That was one heck of an introduction. I have to tell you guys, I am a Disney fan, and my dog is named after a Disney character, not Carl Deichler.
Oh.
I get asked that question a lot. He's not named after, Carl has done a lot for me, but he's not, I didn't name my dog after him. So yes, I will share all of the sneak peek, Instagram, goodness, all of it. I'm going to share my screen if that's cool with you guys.
Absolutely.
I learn better visually, so I love having slides, and also it's just so much easier for people to take notes and screenshot, and I can give you guys these slides once we're done too. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Cool. Alrighty. I have two, just if you ever see me looking to the side, I have two separate monitors. That's why people are like, where's she looking? So I created these slides just for you guys. I love Melissa, so I'm going to give you guys the goods. I don't even give the goods to my own team sometimes, so I feel like they can't handle it. And that's what I asked Melissa. I'm like, are they like legit leaders? Because it's going to be a little bit of tough love and a lot of really, really good tools. But I feel like these tools are valuable mostly to leaders because they already understand that the business is not easy. There's no, quick fix method. You can't just there's no secret ad that you can put up and just get a bunch of people that join your team. There still is hard work. And that's why I think that this information will be really, really good for you if you're cool with working. Like there's no, like I said, secret Craigslist ad or weird page that you can be on that'll get you a bazillion coaches added to your team. But I can tell you exactly how I've done it. And we will go into exactly, Melissa, I love that you're drinking wine. You're drinking wine, right? Thank you. That makes me feel so much better because I have a glass and I'm never sure if I can drink it on calls, but now I know I can. So I will be sharing with you like my exact recipe, but before we dive into anything, and like I said, this is hard work. You can't do ads on Facebook and you can't do ads on Instagram if your own shit is not together. Hopefully it's okay that I say that, because everyone that you're advertising to will come to your page and literally run in the other direction if your act isn't together. So first and foremost, you have to figure out how to brand yourself properly, but authentically more than anything. And I'm actually speaking 3 times at Summit about branding. That's how passionate I am about it. So I will give you guys a little bit of that as a preview, but also just speaking from the heart, like this is really something that's taken me 4 years to do. And I used to be very, very shy. Like if you guys ever want a good laugh, go to my YouTube channel and go look at my first videos. Like there's a video that somehow went a little bit viral from whenever I was a new coach, and it was something that I made for my new coaches. And it's like how to get started as a beach body coach. It's so bad. It's so bad. Like don't listen to my tips, but it's just inspiring to see the girl that was 4 years ago to now. And a lot of that was just self-learning and, being okay with being me. And that really is what became my brand. Like Melissa said, I went from very, very skinny mini to strong. So I gained weight. And how in the world are you supposed to advertise a weight loss company / weight loss program when you gained weight? So for a year of my business, like, yes, I've been a coach for 4 years and a month, but I didn't really do anything for the 3 first months because I was so unsure of what to talk about because I felt like such a phony. And I also felt like such a weirdo because my passions and my hobbies and interests, I thought made me like a loony bird. So I didn't want to share any of that. And once I was just really, really real with myself, and this kept being reinvented year after year after year. So just know that that's okay to constantly be reinventing yourself and changing. Obviously, things like becoming a mom would change your brand quite a bit. And life does happen, and all of these different things can change your persona on social media. But it's so important to pinpoint truly to your core who you are. So thinking about what makes you you, like your family and the knowledge that you have. My skill set of being able to tell someone how to find a cocktail in Disney World is outstanding. Like I could talk to you about it for 24 hours. You need to think about that. Like what's the thing that you could talk about for 24 straight hours and not stop? I have a video, and this really speaks to my brand. I have a video on my YouTube channel that I literally just sat in my room upstairs and I turned on the camera and I just shared my top 10 Disneyland hacks. The video, that I can say went viral. That went straight viral. There's like 170,000 views on it as of last week. And that's just from speaking, no beach body, nothing, just not even fitness, just how to, eat a lot of calories in Disney World or Disneyland. And that is truly my brand. And I think that that's something that I can connect with people on, and it's authentically me, but it did take me a long time to figure that out. So if you can just like jot down, if things come to your mind, but I do encourage you to grab a piece of paper at the end of this call and list out like 50 things that make you you, the really weird stuff, the things that maybe you're hiding. Like for me, that was gaining weight on my beach body journey. The Disney thing, being very, very girly. If you ever see my Instagram page, it's covered in pink and it's just obnoxiously colorful, but that's who I truly am. And once I was okay with that and I started sharing it more and more, I felt like I was attracting that type of person. If you guys are ever on one of my team calls, if I go like this with my phone, my whole team can lift theirs up and they all have like Minnie Mouse and Mickey Mouse and Tigger, and it's the funniest thing, but we're all very similar. It's kind of cool that you can attract a family of people just like you. And I'm so excited for this week at Summit to be able to get to spend time with people that are literally my best friends, but that's only because I was authentic on social media. I wasn't trying to be something that I thought that I needed to be. So this is what you can do to actually brainstorm all of this and ask yourself these questions, like the struggles that you overcome. And for me, a lot of the struggles that I overcame was how to go from that skinny girl that couldn't even do a push-up or a pull-up to the person that I am today. Thinking about what inspires you today, like the personal development that you do, that becomes a lot of my posts on social media and what I'm reading. And what I'm reading will usually appeal to someone that's pretty similar to me. Like one book, I have to share this with you guys, the best book of 2017 that I read. I feel like this is Coach's favorite question. It's like, what's your favorite book? Girl Code by Cara. I don't know her last name. I'll show it to you guys. I actually bought 2 because I gave one to a good friend. Girl Code. It's so good. And I just love the philosophies of it. But my type of coach would read something like that. So I always share things that I'm learning in personal development. And also, it just keeps you accountable too to doing your personal development. I always think about how the old me thought, because I'm not signing up Angie today. I'm signing up Angie 4 years ago. And I always keep that in mind. I'm signing up a very shy, a girl that can't do a push-up, that type of girl. That's what I'm looking for. What motivated me to take the jump into Beachbody, whether as a challenger or as a coach, I always think about that. What am I excited about today? What's my biggest excuse? What's my plan to conquer it? And how have I grown? How have I gotten 1% better since yesterday? Because that's something that I can share to motivate my specific target audience. So these are all things, and again, you guys can screenshot this or I can get you the slides, but these are things that you should ask yourself. And to really pinpoint down, I would say maybe 5 things that make you truly you. And so this is a little bit of a sneak peek into what I'm sharing at Summit, but thinking about what makes you normal, like the weird stuff that there are people out there that it's so normal that it's like a weird quirk. Like the fact that I have a little fur baby and that I'm a crazy, oh my gosh. See, fur mom. And I totally understand. That's why my door's closed, because mine can't be in here. So fur baby, mom, total Disney nerd, a donut lover, like all of these weird, like, see, donut lover. It's just odd, but that's the things that make me normal that I can relate with other people on. And that's where I can meet them kind of halfway in a comfortable setting. That makes sense. So either based off of, and I do this, but when I setting with a person where I can go find that person, I mean either in a Facebook group, like I'm in so many Facebook groups that have to do with Disney World and Disney food and all that type of stuff. I'm in a lot of Morkie groups. So Carl, my dog, is a Morkie, a mix between a Maltese and a Yorkie. So I'm in those Facebook groups, nothing to do with fitness, but that's how I meet people. That's how we, bond over similar interests. And then things that you've overcome. For me, obviously, that's my skinny to strong journey. But in terms of the business, that's really, I graduated with a degree in architecture, which is very odd to now say that I am a Beachbody coach and to have that much schooling under my belt, but not at all have been interested in pursuing it. And all the health issues that I had. I actually went to the hospital like 3 times in the span of a month before I started my Beachbody journey. I was a straight up mess. And I talked to people about that and how healthy does not look like the number on the scale or what people think the number on the scale should be. And that's very much my brand. So thinking about those 2 columns and just what can set you apart from every other coach out there, because I think that it's so easy to kind of mold yourself as what you think that a Beachbody coach should be, and that should be your brand. And you're not a Beachbody bot, you're you. And the more authentically that you can share that, that's how you're going to develop a really strong brand. So that's what I mean by having your act together before. And I wanted to talk about just your profile, specifically Instagram, because Instagram is kind of my thing. I've had my page for 5 years, and the way that I grew it in the beginning, and I was a total mess in the beginning. Obviously, you learn as you go. But one thing that I saw, there was this girl that I went to high school with, and she had 2,000 followers, and I had 100. And I had like 100 followers flat, like that. I don't even think I even had that. And she had 2,000 followers, and I thought, oh my Lanta, how did she do that? So what I did, I don't know how I figured this out, I clicked on the big number. like the 2,000 people. And all of this list of people came up, and I started following and commenting on the people that were following her, because I figured she had a similar target audience as I did. She was a bikini competitor in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, where I'm from. And I just thought, well, if they're following her, then they would probably like my page, because we're pretty similar. We're the same age. I'm into fitness. I post motivational stuff. They'd probably follow me. And oh my gosh, they all followed me back. I started commenting on their stuff, and I was like, I've cracked the code of Instagram. And so without even trying, I had over 1,000 followers just from doing that. And that, I want you guys to know, is what I have done to grow my following. In part, I will tell you the rest. That I have done that for 4.5 years since I signed up to be a coach. I do that every day. I have a bath every day. I'm weird. I've never even used the shower in our house. No, I have a bath every single day. So when my bath is running, I do that. I will go to people's pages. For a long time, I did it with Chalene Johnson. I would go to the people that are following her. Now I don't, because it's all coaches. But back in the day when Turbo Fire was the big thing, there was so many people just following her that were doing the workouts. And like me, I had bought Insanity at a Walmart before I signed up. And I figured, well, people are probably buying Turbo Fire or downloading it or buying it at a Walmart or whatever. So that would be my target clientele. And I did that for a long time. And now I'll just go to pages like, I don't know, Brittany Dawn Fitness, or I'll just, girls that are my age that have these massive Instagram accounts, and I will just target and specifically pinpoint who I would love to be a future challenger, a future coach. And I look at the person's profile, I'll like a couple of their pictures, I'll comment on a couple of them, and I'll keep going. And I make sure that my number that I'm following never surpasses 1,000. That's just a quick tip to not look like a total loon on Instagram. If you're following like 20,000 people, it doesn't exactly build trust to your following. So that's just a little tip as well. But the biggest thing I can tell you about gaining a following is if your profile is not in check, and someone will judge within 5 seconds if they're going to follow you or not, and they'll make that decision. So having Beachbody Coach and a link to a sale might not be your best bet. Not because you should be ashamed to be a Beachbody Coach. It's because it's what you do. It's your job. And it's also leading with something that you want. There's zero interest in that person's goals in doing that. It's really just, what can you do for me? And I have news for you. No matter what link you put up there isn't going to be that many people banging down your door in terms of the link, unless you have a specific plan to send people there. So for me, I put my YouTube page. My coach, Emily, who is currently in the top 10, she told me like 22,000 followers last year. And I know that had a huge part in her success. So I asked her how she grew it. And she said, Angie, on the days that I posted 3 times a day, and you guys can see her content, it's good content. You can go check out her Instagram page, just Emily Kirby. And she said the days that she posts 3 times, she'll gain about 80 to 100 followers, and she'll get a good amount of likes. But the days that she posted 6 times, 6 really, really good posts, she would gain 500, 600 followers. Wow. So that just shows you, when you're consistent over time and you're showing up on your page, that can make all the difference in growing your following. So you can really see how me and her do have similar kind of pages. We both have what we're going to talk about, like our big interests. That's what we talk about on our page. So if you're coming to my page and you don't like working out, you don't like dreaming big, you don't like Disney, and you think donuts are disgusting, we might not make very good friends. So I tell them what I'm going to post about so they don't freak out whenever I start posting Disney stuff. And Emily does the same. Emily's very much about the fitness side, yet she likes a good margarita every once in a while. Like, that's her brand. And she shares that. And you can see that the link in her bio is to her, it's an application. So she did a bit.ly to an application for her challenge group, her boot camp. And I'll tell you guys how I do the same thing as well. So this way, when someone inquires and they send her a personal message on Instagram, she'll say, just click the link in my bio, you can apply. And then she gets the serious people, which I really, really believe in, filtering through the serious people. It'll save you a lot of time and a lot of energy. So that's, in short, how you would style your profile. I think that it's really important to have your stuff in order. And I would, self-assess, what do your last 30 posts look like, whether on Facebook, Instagram, wherever, but what do they look like? Are they putting your best foot forward, or is it just a hot mess express sweaty selfie? And I think that, showing your best light, especially on Instagram, which is a very visual platform, is so important. And PS, video, amazing on Instagram as well. Well, you guys have the best possible example of that. So, alrighty. All right, I get this question. I swear I get this question daily. How do you find people? And like I said at the beginning, there's no secret page. There's no secret weirdness. It kills me because there's no quick fix in this. There's no thing that a top 10 coach is doing that another coach doesn't know about. It's not like we all have this secret group that we all chat and like we share each other's stuff. The way that you find people is you're authentically yourself and you don't stop. And I always use this example on the call, and it's so appropriate today. When we were at leadership last year, there is a coach by Chris Reed who nailed it. He said, do you want to know why Melissa McAllister makes more money than I do? Melissa, were you there for that? I laughed so hard. I said, do you want to know why she makes more money? She works harder. He's taking naps and she's working. And he said that. It's not me. He said that. That's why. So once you find this recipe, and I'm going to share with you my recipe, but when you find something that works, and you'll find it through trial and error and getting little nuggets from each coach that you learn from and being on calls like this. But when you find that recipe that works and you don't stop doing it and you just perfect it and perfect it and perfect it, that's how you grow a really successful business. So the first thing that I would say, we've kind of already gone over, is to be you. But how do you share the unfiltered raw you? Because I just basically told you on Instagram to share the highlight reel and the more beautified you. There is a place and time to share the polished professional coach of you. You are a business owner. I think that it's important to have a polished page that looks good. And I think that that's important for Facebook. If you have a website, if you have a freemium that you're giving, like a free cookbook, a free clean eating group, whatever that looks like, or Instagram. That's where you should be polished and have your stuff in check. But where you should be unfiltered, super raw, where you swear if you want to, where your dog starts barking or your baby's crying like Hot Mess Express, that's when you're on live. That's Snapchat. That's your real life. And it's so interesting how people need a balance of both. And when they're on Instagram, and I love that Instagram, you can have the polished, and then in the stories, you can see like the real chaos of people's life. And that's where people, I think, fall in love with you, is they'll follow you because they're attracted to your lifestyle and on Instagram, and they'll see everything that you have to offer. But then when they click on those stories on Instagram or they watch you go live on Facebook, they go, oh my gosh, she's human and she's hilarious. Like that's the part that people love. They love seeing that quirky side of you. So just being authentically you, and being real, not trying to sell first. And that's why I say don't put your Beachbody link in the bio first. Always trying to add value first, and giving more than you think that you should be giving. I'm going to talk about this in a little bit. And being specific. I have this one coach on my team, Mchugh. She is an elite coach this year, and she was a challenger 3 years ago. And I always speak to her. I've always spoken to her since she was the challenger. And she was always the person that I would post for, that I would think of when I was posting, because Lauren was someone that joined my challenge group, thought I was hilarious. And I'm really not that funny, but she laughs at all my jokes, which makes me so happy. And she was a coach or a challenger first that would do all of the assignments that I would give her in the challenge group. She'd print out so she just went through the Shift Shop test group. And she's one of those that did it beginning to end perfectly, followed everything. And I really admired that in her. So I always thought, well, if I'm going to give some feedback or give my knowledge, she will take it and run with it. And that's the type of person I want to speak to. So I always thought about that. And it's so funny. Lauren has the exact same phone case as I do. She's one and so she's turned out to be an incredibly successful coach. And so it's funny that she was always the person that I visualized and I talked to. And when you're thinking about being specific, and this is where I say that you're going to find people, is go meet them where they're at. Go join Facebook groups. So I'm in a ton of weird Facebook groups that have nothing to do with workouts or Beachbody or health and fitness, nothing. And the other thing that I'll do is I'll search hashtags, but I don't search hashtag 21 Day Fix or hashtag Shakeology. I'll search hashtag Lululemon or hashtag Disney Nerd or I don't know. You guys can see all the hashtags that I use, but they're very specific and odd. They have nothing to do with fitness usually, unless it's clothing. So that's how you meet people where they are. And you can search these hashtags too and go find people and go look for them. So that's how you quote unquote find people. And I think it really just comes down to making a friend. It's not really going on a manhunt, which I think so many people treat it that way, is they're trying to trick people into it. So this is how I'm going to take you guys through how I sign up challengers and then how I sign up coaches. Now, full disclosure, I don't know why, I am way better at signing up coaches. You know, we all have our strengths, but I think, to be honest, that I just subconsciously believe that the person signing up as a challenger, they could kill two birds with one stone, and they will hold themselves that much more accountable to their fitness. And so if you have trouble inviting to the business, just think of it that way. They can earn, they can work out, they are that much more accountable to their fitness, and they get a discount on their Shakeology. I just think about it, it just makes more sense to me. So I have a lot of trouble just signing up challengers. I think I'll sign up like 2 or 3 a month. So most of my Success Club points will come from coaches, which is very rare. I understand that. And they are all worker bees. They are not discount coaches. They are usually straight up girl boss hustlers. That's a big question I get. Do you have a team full of discount coaches? Because I do sign up a lot of coaches. I have 99.9% girl boss hustlers, and my team recruits the same way. So I'll tell you guys how I do that. But first, let's talk about challengers really quickly. So this was, did I talk about, so this is how I invite challengers, but this is how I want to do this one first. So the first thing that I do is I think about what I'll post to add value, where I ask for nothing. And all that these posts are is painting a picture the whole week. So I'm organized, nowhere near as organized as Melanie Mchugh, but I am organized in the sense that I will do 1 week where I talk about challenge groups, and then the week after I'll talk about my team, and then the week after I'll talk about challenge groups. That's the maximum of my organization levels. Like my calendar on that wall is still from, I don't know, May? No clue. I'm not that organized. So you guys can do it. But what I'll do on the weeks that I'm promoting my challenge group is I'll post something like this, where I just talk about how I just sweated out for 45 minutes, and you would never get that in a gym. And I talked about Asylum. I had my fitness tracker on, so I talked about how many calories I burnt, which people love to know about. And I had my little ladder behind me, and that's it. But I want you guys to know the way that I took this picture, because I do not look like this after I work out. So I snapped a selfie once I was done my workout, and this is the app that I use, and it's miraculous. It's called Photo Wonder. I can't even show you guys, but it's a pink square with a little star in the middle, like a little wand, and there is a filter camera on it. So I put it on the filter soft, and it like airbrushes me whenever I wish I could. But that's how I did it. I don't have time to Photoshop my face and make it not red, but this kind of gives it a nice dewy glow. That's what I do. So I will share just nuggets, sprinkle information here and there of what my challenge group looks like, what the program looks like that I'm doing. And then once I've posted something like that, something of value 7 days in a row, I can post one invite. And this is the problem I feel like so many coaches have, is they ask for too much. They don't give enough. And if you're giving for 7 days straight and you build up that trust, and I swear this is like how I've built my whole social media, I've given more than I ever thought that I should. Like sometimes I'll be sharing things and I just think, this is way too good. And that's how you build trust. That's how you make friends. That's how people following you will say yes to this when this comes up. And this was one of my most successful challenge groups launched. Do you guys even remember P90? It was like the on switch to fitness. And I was so excited about this launch. And to be honest, when it first was announced, I was not excited. And then I started to think of all the people that could actually get started, like Angie 4 years ago. And I started to think about that. And so I wrote out a really real and vulnerable post, and I just said, if you've ever followed me from afar and been scared to even ask to join a challenge group, or been scared to even message me, I totally get you, because that was me. And I was just really, really raw and vulnerable, but I put a call to action at the end. And so when you're adding value and doing 7 days worth of posts where you're not asking for anything, you're giving something, and then on day 7, you're like, boom, here, this is how you can join me and get fit with me. And that's, I feel, the biggest enigma as a coach, is how do you let people know that you have a service to provide? That's how. On day 7, you do an invite post. So this is what mine looks like. It did really, really well. I was very proud of it. They don't all do well, by the way. I'm not a magical unicorn. Sometimes it gets 0 likes, 0 comments, and I delete the post. It never happened. That's normal, by the way. That still happens. Just people don't see it. So that's how I speak to people. That's how I invite them. Now, this is another example of invites. Obviously, they don't all have to just be transformation pictures, especially for me. That was hard. I didn't really have transformation pictures that much. And for me, this one went really, really, I would say like not viral, but it got so much traction because
It's like all over me.
Of, so you're not muted. Okay, she's back.
I'm back, sorry.
It's okay. So this one got a ton of traction because it really spoke to my brand. It was 135 pounds, 135 pounds. The message was the number on the scale really is total BS and does not matter. So you can see the size of my arms. That's probably why I could not do a push-up back in the day. But this is an invite post. This is exactly how I invite people. And this one, I said, oh, click the link in my bio. So you know how Emily had her bootcamp application? That's how I do that. So either drop your email below, you know, put an emoji in the comments. I always call them to action in an invite post. But again, I only do those once a week, if that. So, okay, now coaching. It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. I'm very, very raw. I'm very real. I speak to one specific person and I add value for 7 days in a row before I invite. And this is a really good example of a value adding post where I ask for nothing. I'm just sharing what I do. Bonnie Engel is really good at this as well. She's like the queen of the selfie with what I'm grateful for today. She's really good at it. So this was last summit, I think, and I just shared how 3 years before I signed up as a coach, I just wanted to travel. That's all I wanted to do. And I just talked about how that day I had booked Texas. So we went to see Tony Robbins as a team. We were going to Nashville for summit, and then we had a wedding in Vegas right after. And I just thought, like, I can't believe I'm booking 3 trips in the span of 24 hours, and this would never be possible. And those were not the posts. I want you to know, like, those were not the types of posts that I had at the beginning of coaching, but I always made it a point to think about something that I was grateful for with coaching. I would stop, drop, and selfie and share it with the world. And it's never gloating if it comes from a place of gratitude. You don't have to do the whole hashtag blessed and all of this crazy stuff, but if something is possible in your life because of coaching, I think that just being authentically you and sharing that from a story standpoint and not so much look at what I have is so inspiring to people. But you have to be able to do it from an authentic place, not a I want to sign you up type of place. People can sense the BS factor a mile away. So I just shared the accomplishments, the gratitude, all that type of stuff. And it doesn't have to be this genius photo. Again, that's the same app that I use. I don't look like that. I just, the filtering and the lighting, that's all that it is. So this is how I would do an invite post. I think I have a couple invite examples, but I had this one, why not you? And I just picked 4 things that I was really excited about that had to do with coaching. We booked a trip to Disneyland. I had this thing with Carl on a yacht. And then the first year that I had a somewhat sizable team at Summit, and then my first ever time holding a microphone at Platinum Edge in Texas, I thought I was going to have a heart attack. And I was speaking about branding on Instagram. But this was how I invited people after sharing 7 days worth of posts, like that other one of painting the picture, so that when you do invite, it's clear to people what you're talking about. And so this is another example. I was just sitting by the pool in Florida one day, and someone had messaged me saying they didn't feel like they had enough time to be a coach. And I use objections a lot in my posts. And if you're not getting objections in your messages to people, you're not talking to enough people. I get objections all day long, and I will literally write them down in a notebook and create posts from them, because other people have those objections too, and that's content for me. And if anything, I'm nailing off people's objections publicly so I don't have to answer them in emails later. So to me, that's a great, great way to share with the world what you do without coming from an icky way. I'm all about not being icky. So again, selfie, that's all I did. And then this is how I would invite. So this one, I shared the link straight to my sneak peek, and I'm going to show you guys how I get people into my sneak peek. I do not recruit any coaches to my team. I know this is shocking. Like on average, I would say I recruit between 20 to 50. I have recruited 70 coaches in a month, but they do not get signed up without going through my sneak peek first. It's physically impossible, because I want them to have all their questions answered, and I want them to get to know me. The last thing I want is someone to sign up and then be like, what have I done? I don't want that. So I put everybody through a sneak peek. So what I'll do is I'll usually paint the picture in a public post like this, from unemployed grad to stay-at-home girl boss, and I'll share a little bit about my life, and then I invite them with a call to action on day 7, which for me is usually a Sunday or a Monday, and it depends on where I'm at. But so I wrote this out because this is what Melissa really wants. So this is how I recruit. Like, this is legit how I do it. So no matter what, it doesn't matter what post is on social media. You can use ads. I suck at Facebook ads. I'm still learning. I just signed up with Jesse Regan for his Facebook, and I have to say it's really good. So I'm doing that to learn. I literally have YouTube videos up right now on how to grow an Instagram following. So I'm constantly learning. It's like personal development. It's not some God-given skill to be good at social media and have a lot of following or a large following. You have to be able to get better at it. But the concept of doing an ad on Instagram or, getting this large page to feature you, I did come up with it by accident. So one day after that girl that I had followed that had the 2,000 followers and I only had, I think 60 or under 100. And I just thought, oh my God, I want to be cool like her. And I want to have like 2,000. Like, what if I could get 10,000? And there was this page that I followed. I don't think it even exists anymore. It's called Insta Femme Fitness. Mm-hmm. And I remember just being so in awe of that page. And I just thought it was one girl, that it was her page, but it wasn't. She just featured all these really fit girls. And I thought that you had to be selected to be part of it. So I sent her a message back before there was direct messaging on Instagram. You had to email them or kick them, which is KIK. A lot of Instagram people, by the way, talk through that. It's such an old-fashioned way of communicating, but it's what they do. So it's an app called KIK, Kick. And so I kicked her and I said, hey, how do I get featured on your page if I send you a couple of pictures? And at the time, I had this really great video of me and my husband that we were doing partner workouts, and a lot of pages were stealing it and using it. So I thought, she'll feature that if I just ask her. And so she said, yeah, I'll feature that. You just got to pay me. At the time, it was like $20. It's not $20 anymore. $20. Do you want to know how many followers I gained from that? 2,000 followers at the time. Now, don't think that $20 is going to get you 2,000 followers today. The game has changed, but that's how it happened. And then I thought, so I did that for a long time to gain my followership, a lot with that video. You guys might have even seen that video. It's in my Instagram feed if you ever want a good laugh. But so I did that for a long time, just either pictures of myself or videos, workout videos, whatever. And then I thought, what if I did like a challenge group invite and I paid them more? And she said, sure. She was like, okay. And then I started finding other pages. So all I did was I just started looking for big pages that would feature me for an hour, 2 hours, whatever. And I would pay them through PayPal, and I would send them my content and they would post it up. And so I did that for a long time. I still use my own page. And to be honest, I will sign up the best people that already follow me because they know who I am. There's that level of trust built, same thing. So that's how I post daily, build trust, gather emails however you can. If you guys are a follower of Shalene Johnson, emails are king. If you're running your entire business through Facebook messages and Instagram DMs and your Instagram gets shut down tomorrow, you are a Scrooby dude. Like, you have to have your emails. And that, honestly, for a very unorganized girl like me, that's how I track. I have one tracking sheet, which is on Google Sheets because I don't know how to use Excel. And I have a Mac, and it's the only way that my husband can convince me to do that. So we have the names of every single prospect that we talk to, whether it's a challenger prospect or a coach prospect, it doesn't matter. I need it simple. So I put their name, their email, and where I found them. So if that's Instagram, the supermarket, or Facebook, then I have that, and that's it. And then if I need to know what we've talked about, I just search their email in my inbox, and that's it. So then I have everything. So you have to gather emails by any means necessary. So if that means putting out ads and telling the person to DM you, and when they DM you, you say, hey, you want to send me an email? Everything goes to email. If anybody sends me a message anywhere, I just say, hey, thank you so much for your interest. Would you send me an email? That's actually what my message says. Thank you so much for your interest. Big smile. Would you mind sending me an email with, I tell them what to title it, because sometimes that freaks people out if you don't let them know what to say. So gather emails. That's step one. From there, I will usually send people a application process, but I make it simple. So I did say that you want serious people, but you also don't want to take people through the ringer. You want it to be simple for them. So I will take them through some sort of a form. I'll send them a link to a form and just say, do you mind answering a couple questions? And this is also when I let them know they have to be over 18, United States and Canada. Now I started saying soon to be in the UK, so I at least have their email. And that's, by the way, that's how you would build your UK following. And yeah, then I just send them like a couple of questions like, why do you want this? whether that's a challenger or a coach, why do you want this? And then the kicker, on the third email or the third interaction, based off of their answer in the form, I tell them why they would be great for the free group. And I don't sign up anybody to anything without a free group. So either it's a free group to show them what my challenge group looks like, or a free group to show them what coaching looks like. And then I crush the free group. So I think I'm the only coach on the planet that still does 5-day sneak peeks. My coach Emily does 1 day, still works just as great. I've done 3 days, still works just as great. It really is, it's your recipe. It's whatever you feel is working for you and taking note of what's working and moving forward with that. So I've had weeks where it's a total debacle and I just think, what did I do differently? And I don't do that again. Or something went really, really well for me just changing my wording, and that really helped. And I'll share with you guys exactly what I mean by that and how I've kind of tweaked my sneak peek. But from there, through the whole sneak peek process, I am talking to people. And this is why I say you have to be able to work hard, because voice memoing people one-on-one and talking to people one-on-one and being okay with building that relationship first is what's so important. And that's where the hard work comes in, and following up with every single person that's in the sneak peek. That's how I do it. I'm building the relationship at the same time as the videos are going up in the sneak peek. So they understand who I am and they know that I'm not some robot that's just putting up videos. I'm in there and I'm engaging and I'm answering questions, and I'm in that group. Like when those groups happen, which is every second week, that's my sole focus that week. So this is my free group formula. So I do 5 days, but this could be condensed into 1 day. Honestly, what Emily does is she will say at 8 a.m., she'll say we're starting at noon. She'll put up a little schedule for the day. So instead of it saying day 1, 2, 3, she would say noon, 2 p.m., 3 p.m., and all the videos would go up in 1 day. So it really doesn't matter how you do it. It's whatever works for you. Personally, I want someone that has the attention span of 5 days. Like, I don't want someone that can't even hang around for a day. I want someone that wants to stick around. And also, I feel like this builds anticipation and excitement. So the first day is I intro them to me. I just talk about my story, my fitness story, not coaching. I talk about the Beachbody program so they do understand that it is Beachbody, because I don't want people to get in and not really understand what it is. Some people will think at first it's like a modeling job for whatever reason. I don't understand why. And then it paints the picture and it shows them that I'm human. I talk about how I gained weight. I talked about how I was really sick, how I found Beachbody, and what that did. So I talk about what to expect in the group, and the video is no more than 10 minutes. It's not over edited. I am professional, but I'm not staged, if that makes sense. For the longest time, I used my phone to do these videos. And I feel like when you're just yourself and it's unedited and it's not all chopped up, it's so much better. And you don't have to be scripted either. When I film these videos, I have 3 topics that I follow, and that's it. And I just talk. So, and I'll give you the best tip of your life. Don't look at yourself in the screen. Look at the camera lens, the camera hole. That's how you look into their eyes. So important, drives me crazy. Day 2, this is something that I had added into my sneak peek that it made such a difference. I address all skepticism up front. I straight up talk about pyramid scheme questions and money and like all the weird stuff that's really hard to answer. I write out my answers, and after doing a lot of these, you get the same question. So I straight up talk about that. And the way that I answer everything is I just explain that I felt the same way and what I found. So I don't know if you guys ever heard of that, feel, felt, found. That's how I answer every single question. So I will do a video that is titled, I Was Such a Skeptic. I'm pretty sure it's on my YouTube. By the way, all my videos are on my YouTube from my sneak peek. So if you guys ever want to see them, there's like the last day, how Beachbody changed my life is up there. That one's done really well, but it's public as well so people can see it. And day 3 is the day that people usually have the aha moments. It's what I actually do as a coach. And all I did, guys, was I took my phone and I filmed me scrolling through my challenge group and through my team group and showing them how I go live in my team group. And I talked to them about how I edit pictures on PicMonkey and I post to Instagram. Like, I just show what I do in a day and how I do my workout. I read personal development, drink my Shakeology. That's it. And so the day in the life video is usually very eye-opening to people. And that's whenever I feel like people get it. Like the light has turned on. And then day 4 is when you seal the deal and you explain something of how Beachbody's changed your life. And I personally do not share like income stuff. I share life-changing stuff. And my biggest story that I shared, and it's progressed since, but in the beginning, the story that I would share over and over and over again was how I was able to afford a trip to Disney World for me and my husband. And like the feeling of accomplishing that and knowing that this was a real business. And I share that. And this year, my husband was able to quit his job. So I added that to the story. But it doesn't really have to do with money. Like I never, because the last thing you want is a bunch of money hungry coaches. And that's how you end up with people that don't want to, they just think it's supposed to be easy. And they don't understand that it's actually a business. So I never really make it seem like, yeah, you've got this. Anybody can be great at this. I make it really clear that it is hard work and that it is a business. And I think that's how you end up with really great go-getters and people that are like, I'm ready to sign up. Let's do this. And then on day 5, it isn't really a day. I just go live and I do a Q&A, and I'll usually sign up an extra 5 people just from doing that. Even though there's not that many people by then still listening in the group, but like 3 to 5 people on that last day just from that extra going live, answering the top questions, just sitting there live for 20 minutes and just talking to myself, for 20 minutes. And that's how you seal the deal. And this is what I've done forever. But I will say I have perfected this over time, and this is now what it looks like. But it was not this in the beginning. I was a hot mess. I would try and learn from every coach that I would hear from and add this in, and I would go watch YouTube videos and I would try and make it better. And that's what I hope that you guys can learn from this is if you have a system that you can perfect over time through trial and error and be okay with that hard work, you'll figure out your system. And if you can just do that again and again and again, that's how you end up with Success Club 100 or whatever your goal is. So hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully I answered all the questions that you wanted, Melissa. If not, you can grill me.
That was, the quote that kept going through my mind when you were talking was people like to work with people work with people that they know, trust, and like. And your system does exactly that. With all of your social media, they know you because they see what you do. They see what they love. They learn to like you because of your Facebook lives and your Insta stories and your snaps. And then they trust you because of these groups that you put together. So it's such a really good flow for you. And now for me, I hope. But I really do. I think I know everybody has to build and work this business in their own way, but because you put such a human factor to it and really take the time to get to know people, I think that's what's made this really powerful for you. Yeah. And I have a quick question for you. Do you have, because I'm sure a lot of minds were blown as soon as you said that, you've obviously recruited up to 75 coaches in a month, systems in place after that to get them through. Do you have your own training? Do you use Beachbody's training? What do you do with all those brand new coaches that have just come in?
I'm constantly evolving that. And I'm still learning how to do that, just like I was in the beginning. One thing that I feel is the best, I do have a coach training. I actually created do you guys know what Kajabi is? Like what Shalene uses for Smart Success and all that. So I have one of those websites. I'm actually going to shut it down. It's very expensive for what it is. There is actually a great website called Thinkific. And you can have a free version and just upload 3 getting started right videos of what you think that your coach should do. And that's a great system. You send them a welcome email, don't overwhelm them. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. And that's the key, is not overwhelming people. So first I think it's Thinkific, like that. Thinkific.
I've not heard of it.
I'll send you the link whenever I get off of this and you guys you can share it. But there is a free version. And so that's what I'm planning on doing. So I haven't even done that yet, but I'm planning on doing that. But the best thing that I can do, and I just got finished doing this, is whenever I rally everybody and I do a week intense, let's do this. And so I just did a group. I didn't call it an Emerald Boot Camp because I feel like everybody calls that. I called it Recruiting Machines. And I wanted to take the stigma away from that word recruiting so that people are comfortable with it. And you guys, all I did was go live for 5 to 7 minutes a day and give the simplest of simple homeworks, but an actionable item, not do your workout, drink your shake. Those are duh. but how to share your story on social media. So that's how I get people started. I just share what's working for me, and I keep it very, very basic. But the best thing that I can say is rally the troops. Just constantly rally everybody, get people excited, and they'll follow how excited you are.
Absolutely. It's very infectious.
Yeah.
You have a question from Kelly that's asking, do you make new sneak peeks or free groups each month, or do you just add to the same group?
Such a good question. So there's such a split opinion of this. So my coach, Emily, who recruits just as much as me, and her are always tied for Success Club. We both hit Success Club 85 last month. Like, there's a constant battle in our leaderboards. And me being her upline, I don't ever want her to surpass me. And right now she's at Success Club 20 right now. I'm at 8. So I'm having an internal heart attack. But that's the level of, I guess, what's the word that I'm looking for, where you like the level of hustle, but the level of sense of urgency that you have to have throughout the month. Like, we both don't wait until the 30th to hit Success Club. We go for it. Success Club by the 15th is the rule. So she's sitting at 20 right now, and she reuses her groups.
Okay.
Because you'll have people that from January will be like, oh, I'm ready to sign up now. And I personally, selfishly get way more excited if it's a free group or a fresh group. So I start a fresh one every time, because my energy level dictates the pace of the group. So I start a fresh one. And personally, if I have their email, I will follow up with them in 6 months or whatever. But if I was in that group, I wouldn't want it to, I would be like, okay, well, she's just reusing the videos.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So kind of personal choice.
It totally is.
Yeah. And one last question, because I'm being selfish. It's all about me. When you, with as much, do you get a lot of people that come to you months down the road from a post that you've put, say in January, now it's, it's July. Bless you.
Bless you.
That people, that's okay. That people will, come to you, that you do have people that sit on the fence for a while, or do you notice that people are actually pretty quick with the way that you do this?
Oh my gosh. I had one girl that, no joke, bought 21 Day Fix from someone else or on Amazon or something, wanted to join my challenge group after, like, we had already talked about 21 Day Fix, and she didn't understand that she had done anything. She didn't do anything wrong, but a little bit upsetting. So she had bought her 21 Day Fix. She's like, hey, I got it now. Can I join your challenge group? And I said, sure. Because that's what I had done. I had gotten Insanity. I didn't have Shakeology, and my coach let me in. So I figured, sure. And then she watched for a year. She had heard about the sneak peek. She had gone through it for a year, like over a year. And she's now a diamond coach on my team. But I always use her as an example because it took her a year. And I've had tons of those. And furthermore, I've had coaches that do sign up, do nothing, are literally inactive. And they will, like months to a year later, decide I'm ready, and then hit diamond. So another diamond coach on my team did that. So that's not everybody's story, but it is interesting that some people will come out of the woodwork and just randomly show their face.
Okay. One more question. I'm going to let you go. She's yelling, Christina. Are you yelling? Do you take down your invite post from Instagram after it opens, or do you leave them up?
I always take them down. And I'm glad you asked that, because I usually remember to share that. So I'll put them up for 5 hours to 24 hours, depending on how well they do. And I'll take it down. 1, because I don't want to fill my page with that. 2, because I don't want to lose anybody's email. If they're leaving an email on a post from last week, I'm not going to see it. Sure. So I don't do that. And then to be honest, the other reason is I'll have a lot of coaches actually message the people that leave their email before I can get to it. So that drives me crazy. And I don't want my prospects to be spammed. So I take the whole thing down.
Yep.
I personally, and I feel like your page is just cleaner that way.
Sure. Absolutely. And you post on your Instagram, how many would you say every single day, 2-3 times a day?
Oh, well, see, that's a sensitive subject. Me and Instagram are not friends right now.
Oh no.
So I'm trying to figure it out. Okay. My page, for whatever reason, I think that because I've had it for so long, we talked about this in Italy a little bit. I'm trying to figure out what my angle is. So I haven't posted every single day. I posted yesterday, the day before. I can't say I post every single day.
Yeah.
On Facebook, I do. Okay. And I'll post a video to YouTube. I am somewhere every single day, but on Instagram, I'm not. Because I'm trying to figure it out. And that's what I mean by trial and error. Figure your stuff out and keep moving forward. But I have a YouTube video going up today.
Do you? Good for you. And it's a side note, but it's just a girlfriend to girlfriend that, you know, Anita Myron had done her call, and she had talked about how her Instagram account is growing tremendously because she only now posts about 3 times a week. And then Danielle Natoni came over here for dinner, and she was telling me that she slowed down her posting in Instagram, and she's gaining like 2,000 followers a week now, posting less than she used to. So I think, you know, especially with Instagram, that quality is so much more important than quantity. And that I love the idea of posting several times. I mean, maybe even like 4 or 5 times in a day, once a week, as opposed to every day, 7 days a week, that you would have more growth that way. I mean, that would be worth testing.
Yeah, definitely. And if it's really, really great quality, then I think that that's totally true.
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree with you, Joyelle. Danielle's posting less. I'll tell you said that. No, Angie, I absolutely adore you, and I'm really excited to see you next week. And I appreciate you being on this call and sharing so much valuable information. It's one of the few calls that I know I'll watch 2 to 3 times to get all of that information. So I hope you have really safe travels.
You guys too. I'll see you guys at Summit. Oh my, it's this week, by the way, not next week.
It's 2 days. Yeah. You leave tomorrow though, but I'll see you Wednesday and give you a big hug, and bless you guys, TeamMADE, for being on, and you guys have a nice evening, and I'm going to close out the call. Love you all.
Bye guys. Thank you so much.